So now we're going to try to buff out this area using the 3M marine rubbing compound. Now this is an aggressive rubbing compound, which means that it has quite a strong abrasive. If you're not careful, and for example, if you press down too hard with a power polisher, you can actually take all the gel coat off and then you've got a bigger repair job. So we want to be very gentle. The other thing is it's easy to use too much of this stuff and it starts flinging around. So we're going to just kind of spray some dots out there. I'm using a 5-inch right angle polisher, and I've got it at very low speed so that it doesn't throw the compound. So now we've gone over this area once. I'm going to take off the rubbing compound residue and we'll take a look at it. So I'm using one of these microfiber towels to remove the sanding or the rubbing compound residue. It's a very hot day, so what's going to happen is that it dries almost immediately. Rubbing compound isn't like wax. It doesn't get that much harder to remove if you leave it in place, but we want to see the results immediately. So that's what we're going to get. So from my perspective, oh, here's incidentally the residue on the rag. So from my perspective, I get little fine scratches in this area, but it isn't glossy. It's not perfect, and that's where it's going to take a finer rubbing compound and then finally a wax in order to get that really, really glossy. As I mentioned before, 3M Finesse-It, or in this case Finesse-It 2 glaze, is for that ultimate last bit of polishing. This may actually be too fine at this stage, but I'm going to give it a try. This goes on almost like cream, and it has no grit that you can actually feel in it. It feels just like kind of butter. So we'll go over the same area. Okay, well that looks like enough use of Finesse-It. And notice, Finesse-It doesn't really take off any color. I don't know how it works, but it's really extremely fine. And now we're going to buff this with an 8-inch lamb's wool buffer. Well, as you can see, this has been a pretty straightforward project. The materials are relatively inexpensive. They're not that difficult to use. You have to have quite a few different items, but it's okay. You can use them over and over again. They have a long shelf life. And when you're done, you can take a boat that might have quite a few scratches or oxidation and turn it into something that you're really proud of. As you might imagine, all of these products are available from West Marine.